Hello everyone, my name is Siddesh Upasni. Today we are going to start with the next assignment of C++. Earlier we have seen how we have sorted and tracked array elements. I hope you had understood that. We are starting with the next assignment. So in this assignment we are going to see how we can do arithmetics on complex numbers. So we can see the statement from the program. Write a program in C++ to perform following operations on complex numbers: add, subtract, multiply, divide, complex conjugate. Design the class for complex number representations and the operations to be performed. Now here, the objective of the assignment is to learn the concepts of classes and objects. So a class is a concept of having different kinds of data and different kinds of functions that will work on that data. And this concept or this principle of encapsulation makes C++ object-oriented language. So class is a concept, whereas object is an entity. So we can say that when we are executing some program, then class will be considered as a concept, and for implementing that concept, we will use object as an entity. So we'll start with the program now. Here you can see again, we start with hash include iostream as the header library for particular keywords from C++. Then we have hash include math.h. As it is very much of arithmetics on complex numbers, we are going to use this math.h library or header file. Using namespace std. Earlier, I have discussed this particular that for using some objects in C++, we need to use std prefix with that. But if we use using namespace std line, then this particular need will be omitted. Now, next we have the class, and you can see the syntax in it. Class complex, class as keyword and complex as the class name. You can give anything as a class name. Then we start with int real comma img. So we are using two different particular identifiers to show the real and imaginary part of the number. Then after that we have public. So this public is the access specifier. In C++ we have three access specifiers: public, private and protected. So you can go through that. So here public means it is accessible by all the functions. Now you will see that one by one we have so many of the functions over here in this class, and these functions are not defined but they are declared inside that class. So they have to be defined afterwards. So here we have void display, void read, void add in parenthesis complex, void subtract in bracket complex, void multiply in bracket complex. Then again there is a one particular function complex multiply one complex. We come to this for why it is used again. Now void divide complex and then void conjugate. Okay. So we'll move forward. So for having these all the functions defined, we have to define them in a particular syntax. So as these functions are declared inside the class, we have to have a particular syntax like return type, then the class name, then the two colons, they are called as scope resolution operator, and after that the function name with parenthesis. And if there is a certain argument after that, we have to put it into the parenthesis. So the line reads void complex scope resolution operator read parenthesis. The body of the function starts with curly braces. Here it asks for enter real and imaginary part using the cout object, and using scene object we are getting real and imaginary part. So this is one flavor that in a single line we can get two different values for two different variables. Now if we see the next function, display function, here you can see that in display function, now syntax is again the same: void complex scope resolution operator display parenthesis. Internally it is having one local variable I, and it checks if img is greater than 0. This img is nothing but the imaginary part, we have declared earlier in the class body. So it checks if it is greater than 0, that means if imaginary part is greater than 0, that means whether it is 0 or positive. If it is so, then see out real part, then in double inverted colon plus I, then again ing and endl. This particular line is just because of if in case the imaginary part is positive or negative, accordingly the I or the suffix of I as indicating imaginary part should be there. So if it is greater than 0, that means positive, so it should be plus I. Else, if else means obviously img is less than 0, so I is equal to minus img. So equate this I that we have declared earlier as equal to minus img, and accordingly it will be displayed as minus I in other program. So for the display of the particular value. Now next particular function is the first arithmetic function that will start. So void complex scope resolution add complex C1. So here you can see complex sum. So we have taken one object which is called as sum, and complex is the class name. So this is the syntax that first you will write class name and then the object name. It is just like data type and then identifier. Then we will use the variables from the class, or particularly they are called as fields, using the dot operator. So the real and img part from the class we can use like sum dot real, because sum is the object, and using that object only we can access the variables or fields of the class. So sum dot real is equal to real plus c1 dot real, and sum dot img is equal to img plus c1 dot img. So here you can see that there is one part called as real and another part is called as c1 dot real. So we'll come to that after some time. And independently, real and imaginary values of the complex numbers, they are having their results in sum dot real and sum dot img. So see out sum is and then sum dot display. So this sum function again calls the display function. The display function we have seen earlier now. Okay, so same way we have subtract function, only the difference is we have at the place of some object we have diff for the difference. Same thing, we are subtracting real minus c1 dot real and img minus c1 dot img, and we are displaying the difference. Next we have multiply. So at the place of sum and difference we have product over here. Now here some changes there, as in the case of multiplication every part of complex number gets multiplied by all the two parts of another number. So we, for real part we are having real into real minus imaginary into imaginary. Now why we have this minus sign? Because when two imaginary numbers are getting multiplied, they have their suffix of I, which is equal to root of minus 1. When I is multiplied with I, we have I square, and I square, that means it is equal to minus 1. So this minus 1 minus sign will be appended with the product of two imaginary numbers. So, and in imaginary part of product we have imaginary into real plus real into imaginary, because they will be cross multiplied and then only we will have the imaginary product part. And then again we have product object calling the display function. Now divide part is slightly complex, so just pay attention. Now here you can see, now in this part of complex divide we have certain internal variables declared over here: float r, comma I, comma double I, comma din. Okay, so this din is standing for denominator part. Now if you go through the mathematics part of complex division, now in that case you can't directly divide a complex number by complex number, and for that case what we need is to multiply with complex conjugate of the denominator on both the sides, to the numerator also and the denominator also. Why? Because by that way if you are multiplying a complex number with its complex conjugate, by the rule of mathematics, it will come in the form of a square minus b square. And by that way, your denominator part becomes real, and that makes it easy. So here you can see that as we have used the math.h library earlier, we are using the function from that POW, that is of power. So din is equal to, in round bracket, POW in round bracket C1 dot real comma 2. That means the real part square plus PO in round bracket C1 dot img comma 2. So it is imaginary part square. Okay. So by this way, we have the formula for a square minus b square. Now you will say, how come here positive sign is there? So it is just because that imaginary parts are getting multiplied, and in multiplication we are getting -1 as the result because of I square is common, and -1, and from the formula of a square minus b square, that minus sign multiplied with -1, we are getting the plus sign. Then we have two objects C and C2. So here C2 is used for having the complex conjugate of the respective number of the denominator. So C2 dot real is equal to C1 dot real, and C2 dot img is equal to minus C1 dot img. So pay attention that whenever we are having conjugate, in conjugate only the sign of imaginary part changes and not the real part. So what we are doing is we are multiplying the numerator part with the new C2 object, and the multiplication of that, for that case we have taken multiply 1, which I have earlier told you that this particular multiply 1 function is used only for the divide function. So we will jump to the multiply 1 function. Now here inside that, it is same as the multiply function we have used earlier. But why can't we use the earlier multiply function? Because it is for the use of independent multiplication of numbers. It will show the result, and that is not expected when we are using divide functions. So that's why in this particular multiply 1 function we are not showing anything of the result, and it is just returning the product to the divide function. So here the multiplication of numerator with the complex conjugate of the denominator is done, and we are having certain value in C, and after that we have R and I as two different variables, float variables. So R is equal to C dot real slash din. So this slash defines the division. So C dot real is the real part of the complex number divided by the din. Din stands for the particular value that we have derived from this particular equation, and I is equal to C dot img divided by din. So real and imaginary parts are taken into R and I float variables. Now we are displaying the quotient. Cout quotient is, now again from display function we have seen this thing, that if the sign of I is greater than 0, then it is obviously positive. So you will write plus I, otherwise you have to write minus I, and for that case we have a variable defined over here, that is I is equal to minus I. So that will represent the value. So accordingly we will display the division of two numbers. Multiply we have already seen, and lastly we have one function which will give the complex conjugate of the respective values or respective complex numbers. So here in void complex conjugate we have one object of the class complex defined over here, conj. Conj dot real is equal to real as it is, because in conjugate real part remains as it is, and conj dot img is equal to minus img. So the sign of the the imaginary part will be changed, and then cout complex conjugate is conj dot display. Conj object is accessing the display function using dot operator, and it will display the conjugate value of the complex number. Now here comes the main function. Now here you can see complex C comma C1. So it is creating two objects of complex class C dot read C1 dot read. That means it is it is asking for two values from user in C and C1. Then C dot add C1. Now this is the part where earlier I was discussing. Now here C is the calling object which is calling the add function. So object dot function in bracket object. So C is called as calling object and C1 is called as passing object in this case. And it is the same for the next function. So C is calling the function and C1 is being passed. So the passing function is always cached inside the local variables of respective functions. Like if we see in case of add, here we are having one complex C1. So in this C1 variable, we are catching the C1 sent from the main function. Same way for subtract, multiply, divide, conjugate. So here at this place, conjugate is for a particular number. It does not need two different numbers. So C dot conjugate will give us the conjugate value of first complex number, and C1 dot conjugate will give us the conjugate value of the second number. So in this way, a program logic is being explained. So we'll see the output of this particular. See here we have enter real and imaginary part. So I'll give the real part of first number as 5, then imaginary part as 2. Enter real and imaginary part again is for the second one. So I'll write 3 and 2 as the imaginary part of another number. So you can see the real parts 5 plus 3, 8, and 2 plus 2, 4. So 8 plus I4, that is our sum. Then subtraction, 5 minus 3, 2, and 2 minus 2, 0. So 2 minus I0, that is the difference between them. Then multiplication. Now multiplication should be, it is cross multiplication between the real and imaginary parts. So 5 into 3, we will have 15, and 2 into 2 we will have 4, but that will be 4I square, and that's why it will be minus 4. So 15 minus 4, what we will have is 11. So 11 will be our real part, plus now for imaginary part 5 will be multiplied with the imaginary part of second number. So 5 into 10, 5 into 2, 10I, and 3 will be multiplied with 2, so it will be 6I. So 10 plus 6, 16I. So that's why 11 plus I16. So that is the product. Now for quotient, I have already given you idea how the division of respective numbers is given. So 5 plus 2I divided by 3 plus 2I, you can do it yourself. Now complex conjugate for respective numbers is, now for earlier we have given 5 plus 2I, so that's why we are having 5 minus I2, and for second number we are having 3 minus I2. So in this way we are having this particular program done executed. So I suppose everybody understood the program's logic over here. So thank you for your understanding, and for any doubts